I got jumped on June 1st. I had facial reconstructive surgery on June 11th.
Okay.
And
what exactly had your eye didn't pop out?
It did not, but I found out actually 2 years later because I was having issues. I found out 2 years later going through the medical reports from the initial intake and I did have to. I was seen by an eye specialist in the emergency room.
Yeah.
And I found out 2 years later that yes, it could have fallen out, and that it was probably wise that I did this for the time that I did. I do still have vision issues.
I was about to ask, does this bother you still?
Yeah, actually, my pain level on a daily basis is 10 out of 10 or worse. I mean, I have days that are worse than that, and I'm basing that on headaches, anything. I mean, so my surgery was supposed to take between 4 and 5 hours, and it took over 12. Most of that was because they didn't realize the extent of the damage. My bones were so shattered, they had to remove so many little pieces before they could begin reconstruction. That's what took so long.
Oh my god!
I ended up leaving the hospital with 5 titanium plates in my face. And even last year, I had another surgery. I was supposed to have another surgery by the end of this year, that I haven't scheduled yet.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's an ongoing thing. It's it's just extremely painful every day. But I'm gonna go back to the story real quick though. The attack. When I finally did get home from reconstruction, I'm getting all the phone calls and everything, and our U.S. team coach at the time called me and wanted to know, hey, how are you feeling? What's going on? How are you? Talked to him and told him what the doctors have said, told him how the surgery went, all the things. And he ends up the conversation with, all right, kid, well, we're going to play our asses off for you. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm going to be playing my ass off with you. He's like, you're not going. I'm like, what? Don't you dare take this away from me. Don't you dare take Worlds away from me. Worlds is the reason I didn't hit back. Don't tell me that I can't go. Meanwhile, I can't eat solid food. I've lost 37 pounds in less than 2 weeks.
Did they wire you shut? Your jaw? Or no?
No, they didn't. They inserted a bunch of titanium plates.
Gotcha. So you couldn't chew.
Couldn't chew.
Got it.
Yeah. I couldn't eat solid food again until October.
Yep.
Anyway, so that actually devastated me more than anything that happened from the attack.
Mm-hmm.
And
was the fact that
they weren't going to let me go.
They weren't going to let you go.
Yes. And I mean, looking back on it now, like I totally understand why, but I know myself. I know me, and I'm like, no, no. And so I got into a severe depression for I don't even know how many days after that conversation, and then I knew that I wasn't going to heal if I stayed in that depresso espresso space. And I needed to get out of it.
Absolutely.
And so I sent an email and I copied, I think, the board on it. And I said, Dear Dave, apparently whether or not I go to the World Championships is not up to me, but whether or not I am prepared for the World Championships is entirely up to me. So you do whatever you need to do to make the best decision that you feel is in the best interest of Team USA. But just so you know, whether I go to Ireland for the World Championships or not, I will be ready to be the world champion by July 27th, because that was the date that our flight was set to leave. And I hit send.
And when was it when this email was sent? July 27th is Worlds, approximately?
End of June.
So apparently you have a month, month and a half in advance.
Probably less, probably about a month.
Okay.
Yeah. And I hit send. And when I hit send, I knew that I had to release any attachment to any potential outcome. I couldn't count on it working. I couldn't count on going, and I couldn't count on not going. Like, I had to just go about my business. Now, keep in mind, I was extremely heavily medicated. I was so medicated they gave me a walker because I couldn't stand up by myself. I was not allowed to sleep laying down for the next 8 weeks. I had to sleep sitting up.
Sitting up? I had to do the same thing.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. And you don't really sleep. It's almost impossible to sleep because everything hurts. Yeah. And you can't get comfortable because you're not allowed. So, yeah, it sucks.
The face is a very difficult. I had a facial reconstructive surgery when I was like 19, and same thing. They wired me shut, and I medicated for a few weeks and couldn't sleep. The whole thing. So it's hard to describe that to people. Your nerve endings are firing. Your face. It's your face too. So you don't. Yeah. It's not like you broke your arm. You can kind of isolate it in your arm. Your face is kind of hard to escape.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, I hit send and I released any attachment to the outcome of whatever would happen after that email. And then I went about my training as best I could, which was literally sitting, watching video, or sitting and just visualizing a workout. like with weights, visualizing a 2-hour court practice in real time. So if it's going to take me 2 hours in real life to actually do it, I took 2 hours to do it in my mind on the couch.
Wow.
And that was how I prepared. And then I came back to Phoenix and trained with one of my trainers here in Fountain Hills for 10 days. And the most I could do was 10 sets of 1 single leg step ups. That's it.
Okay.
I couldn't do anything else.
Wow.
I mean, we obviously did more than that during the 10 days, but that first day when that was all I could do and he sent me home, I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing trying to go to Worlds? Right. And then within the first 2 weeks of July, I went and signed up for an outdoor tournament in Huntington Beach. And I signed up and played 3 divisions. And I think I might have won 1, but I was genuinely pissed that I didn't win all 3. And I had to have one of those, custom made masks.
I was going to ask, did no one tell you like, hey, if you take a ball to the face, it's going to reactivate this entire process?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I had a mask that was custom made and I had to wear that. And,
wow.
Anyway, I played and our U.S. team coach had driven down from Stockton to kind of evaluate me when he found out I was playing. And he said, I did not expect that. He's like, you actually look pretty damn good. And he was kind of what-ifing me to death about, yeah, but what about this? And what happens if that? And what if, and
justifiably so.
Yeah, completely. I know most of it was concern for my own health. Mm-hmm. And then the other small part of it was probably, we need to do what's in the best interest of the team, which I also totally understand. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I guess one of the things I said to him that kind of basically shifted him onto my side of the, I want to go, was I'm like, Dave, I don't need my face to hit the ball. My arms and my legs still work. And he laughed and he goes, yeah, you got a point there. I didn't really think about that. And he couldn't argue with that either. And plus he just saw me play, infinitely better than he expected me to, considering I'm still severely underweight, haven't been able to do anything physical until literally that weekend. And then I went from there to a tournament in Pennsylvania.
Can you still not eat solids when you're doing this? Are you still on a liquid-based diet?
I mean, no. I mean, I was on protein shakes, mashed potatoes, anything soft, baby food, applesauce.
Yep. Did you ever blend anything up? You ever do that?
Okay, so let me get to the climax of the story is that he actually did say, okay, yeah, you can go. And I went to Worlds. Yeah. And I won my first world championship without losing a single game. I never even went tiebreaker.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
a month after.
Technically 2 months. Yeah. I got jumped June 1st, had facial reconstructive surgery on June 11th, and 64 days after getting jumped, 53 days after facial reconstruction, and 29 days after voluntarily ceasing all pain medication against medical advice. Yeah. I won my first world championship.
Wow. That's outstanding.
Yeah. And so that's
unbelievable.
When you ask like what platform do I have to speak from with, helping people overcome things or find new perspectives or, initiate some kind of shift for themselves. It's, I've been through some shit.
Yep.
And getting back to the book, that's the event that happened, but it's not just that event. It's other things that happened in my childhood. I was born with a deformity that I had to have a life-saving surgery that no surgeon wanted to touch because it was a 1 in a million something chance that I would live and a 1 in a something million chance that surgery would actually work. So, between that and a car accident that my mom and I were in and not wearing our seatbelts and we spun into a light pole and I got thrown forward, I mean, like if I must be part feline and have 9 lives. I think I got at least 3 or 4 left.
3 down.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just those things. There's been a lot of buildup of things in my life, good and bad.
Yeah.
Not just all, horrific, but just a lot of
pretty unbelievable. You won Worlds. That's
a lot that
incredible.
I've learned from. There's just so much that I have learned from. Mm-hmm. And my purpose for speaking is I want to be able to help people so that they don't have to go through the shit that I went through to learn what I learned. Mm-hmm. And if there's anything that I can offer, even if, and it's not about me, it's about knowing thyself. Let me help you pry into the corners of yourself that can help you make some kind of adjustment that is going to propel you forward in what you say you want to be, what you want to become, what you want to do, what you want to achieve, where you want to go from where you're at now.
Yeah.